Hey, welcome to the Round 6 podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Brad.
I'm Alex.
And with us is, finally, after a long delay, man, the one, the only, and one of my favorite artists in the entire universe, Jeff Allison.
You're making me blush.
Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
Dude, thanks for hanging out and waiting and everything, man.
Yes, very patient.
Dude, it's been so long, and I wanted to have you on just period. I mean, we did one kind of early on in the Roundcast, the Round 6 podcast. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 maybe. Like
it was
early.
Early. And dude, having you here finally get this thing, Now, I want to have you on a lot of times.
Sweet.
I want you to be a regular.
Yeah.
And I just, dude,
I don't mind being a regular.
at my age, I'd love to be regular, man.
Yeah,
hey,
regular's
it's a poop
good.
joke. Outstanding. So, dude, you've had like, I would say probably one of the greatest years as far as like growing and building upon everything you've worked on.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. It's been really good.
Let's talk about that, man. What are you up to right now?
Well, right now I'm the, what did we decide my name is? I'm the creative design consultant for Shine Speed Shop. So.
Wow. Does it say that on the business card?
What was that?
Does it say that on the business card?
It's really long.
Yeah, it is. We didn't want to.
Like, hang on, let me separate this out. Underneath
we wanted to give me a title,
here.
but we didn't want to make the impression I was in charge of everything or something. There we go.
Whoa! Look at you with the rounded
creative design
nice.
consultant.
Yeah.
Creative design consultant.
I would have been happy if it said Monkey Boy.
I'd been happy if they ever spelled my name right on a business card.
Or even just mention
And
your
I
name.
make our business cards.
Just mention your name.
Wow.
Say, that'd be nice.
Take that,
That's
Mr.
that's the first business card I've had that I didn't go make at Kinko's in the middle of the night before a car show.
The ink didn't
cut out
smear when
yes,
you rub your hand
exactly.
on it. It's like,
Shit,
oh,
these are all
I
different
smeared
sizes.
it.
On the way to the show, you're rounding the corners.
You know what I'm talking about.
Never been there. No.
I don't know what that's like.
Do you sell this in perforated? So what all does this title entail for you to do for these?
Basically, what it entails is I've been working with Jimmy for 3 or 4 years now. First thing I got to do with Jimmy was actually I got to design a organ stand for Dusty Hill from ZZ Top, which was really cool because he had like hurt his arm but they were on tour and they didn't want to stop the tour, so they put all of his guitar notes into a keyboard, and then he would come out and play on the keyboard until his arm got better. So I designed this like keyboard stand that, of course, it had to have fuzz on it, and I put it all together so it was kind of very car oriented, had fake gauges on and stuff, and you had to turn it on with the ZZ Top keys and shit. And
that's like the
can we
fourth
swear?
mention of that.
Can we cuss?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You can.
Okay, sweet. So anyway, that was like the first thing I did with them, and then over the years we did a couple more things. Did some stuff with SEMA for like Acura, and then when he moved the shop, he decided to have me come on to like help rebrand him. Rebrand the shop, kind of step away from just Jimmy Shine to now it's Shine Speed Shop. So it's been pretty cool, and I've gotten a lot of really positive feedback from the direction that I've been kind of trying to help take the look and feel of the shop.
Indeed, man. That's one of the things you and I were talking about. I mean, we kind of do a similar job for different companies, and
absolutely.
I admire everything you're doing with that.
Well, thank you. I admire what you do too.
Yeah, thanks. Man.
So, and then on top of that, like kind of the bonuses, when I'm in the shop, I get to do a lot of design work too. Because like clients will come in and they're like, "Hey, we want to do this." I'm like, "Oh, well, let's sketch out some stuff," and so it's kind of utilizes all my different unique skills that don't really fit into everyday jobs.
And what's cool is you've got a really varied skill set, which is, I mean, it's one of those fun things. Like I got like really diverse with mine. It was kind of out of necessity. Like when the economy started to fail, I was like, I knew I could fall back on coding. I could do just about anything anybody needed.
Yeah.
With you, it's kind of cool like that. Like if you were going to build your career over again, knowing that you have that big of a skill set, would you do it any different, or would you stick along the same path? That's a loaded question, I know.
I would do the same thing. I just would have started it earlier, because I wasted a lot of time working a real job.
And you do the whole, I'm not good enough to go.
I used to be pretty insecure, and I spent 17 years as a UPS driver. You guys all know that.
Yeah.
And And actually, I think we talked about it the last time. One of the cars that kind of made me see that I am decent at what I do and stuff was that Chrysler Airflow that sold for $500,000. You know, that
awesome,
was
by the way. That car's still timeless, man. I
thank you. I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that still looks pretty bitchin'. So,
and you took a car that I got to tell you, I never liked those to begin with, and made me go, holy crap, that's awesome.
Yeah. We all started looking through Craigslist as soon as we saw that thing. I'm gonna get one of these.
Yeah, I love that car.
It's bitchin'.
So
you really did a ton with that, and it's funny because that almost fits your style perfectly. When I think of you, I can't separate my brain from that car. It just fits like your aesthetic. It's like that's Allison.
Thank you. I kind of pride myself in trying to make oddball or obscure cars better. You know,
and just really cool, man.
Yeah, like take something that most people overlook and go and make it into like, hell yeah, that's bitchin'.
Yeah.
You know, or take cars that I don't know if you've seen like some of the more recent stuff like the Riviera, where that's a car where most people are afraid to touch that because that's pretty beautiful to begin with.
Yeah, that's an
iconic
it's like shape.
Change it all up and still have it, be accepted.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm really proud of that one. That one won Designer's Choice as Eyes on Design.
And that's for my god, that's a highlight and a half.
It is that I don't really care about trophies or anything like that, but to get that kind of positive feedback from actual other designers, real designers.
I think that's funny. I always say that it's like from the real designers.
Yeah, they're like hell yeah, that Riviera is bitching. So
what I loved about that car is that car had a factory vibe to it. You go, man, I could just envision this thing being built back in the day. It worked.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Yeah, and you nailed it, killed it. Yeah,
did you guys see when we debuted that all the fake concept art I put out for it?
You and I at about the same time,
right? You did you debut that car here?
Yeah, we debuted it here.
Yeah, I remember all that.
I saw a bunch of it. Yes.
Yeah, because I was putting out online a bunch of like fake pictures of Bill Mitchell, like with the fake sculptures of the Fastback Riviera and stuff. And it was super fun because people, like 20% of the people totally bought it. They're like, oh yeah, I remember that car.
I saw that at the Motorama.
Yeah, that's my favorite stuff. So.
You and I did a similar thing. I did that with a Buick I did for Tim Strange, and we came up with all these fake interdepartmental memos and just talking about stuff like that. And it's so fun to do that because like anything you do revisionist history-wise is such a blast.
Yeah, mix it in with the real stuff, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I remember that car.
But you did something with that car that was way cool, and you mentioned iconic.
Yeah.
And the factory, like you not only took it, but like bringing in the wheel design, everything like that was just so perfectly GM.
Yeah.
You obviously know your shit.
But that's what I love. I love GM concept car stuff. Actually, all concept car stuff. But so I'm sure you do a similar thing where you kind of when a project like that comes along, you kind of got to put your mind into that time frame and like what would they have been thinking, and kind of reimagine it from a different perspective than maybe you would normally think something.
Drinking a lot of Ovaltine.
Yeah.
Watching a lot of black and white TV.
Exactly.
Watching
smoking a lot.
Have gun
These are
travel,
good for you.
And Tang. You gotta drink Tang too.
Smoking Terrytons.
Cooking TV dinners in the tin can.
Is it drinking Tang?
That's right.
I asked her not to drink Tang, right?
Know.
Yeah,
nobody on Earth will drink that shit.
Right.
So that's
Tang and rum, delicious.
Okay, here we go.
It's out of this world.
You're big on the tiki thing and everything. Dude, here we go. Here it is. If you had to come up with a drink, Tang and rum, what do you call it?
Oh, that would be Space Tiki.
Oh,
wow.
Ooh.
On the run even. That was good.
That
Good
was-
name, man.
I like launch
it.
pad.
I'll make one tonight.
This would be the awesome thing. Now you could be an undertone Phoenix. They're gonna be like, have you tried the space? No.
Yeah.
I came up with a new tiki drink that I've been making because I really wanted to just make like I wanted to make a tiki bar and like have the whole. Have you ever been to Doug Door's house? Any of you guys?
No.
Oh, Doug Door's awesome. By the
Yeah,
way.
He's
got
definitely into that,
He's got
though.
the coolest like house with. It's got like a volcano in the backyard, and I mean everything's tiki nuts. Has a little like clubhouse you can go in that looks like the minnow. And watch beach blanket bingo and drink rum and stuff.
Oh, how cool.
But I made up this drink because I wanted to do something similar, and I wanted to make a menu mostly. And it was I was going to call it the Howley, which is I guess Howley is like that's that's what the native Hawaiians call white people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to basically be like a White Russian, like a Caucasian, like, Big Lebowski style.
The Caucasian alone would be a great beverage.
Yeah,
But.
yeah. Well, that's Big Lebowski, the Caucasian. So, and it's basically gonna be like a White Russian, but it's made with coconut milk instead of cream, and some rum and vodka instead of just the vodka. It's a little bit sweet though. So, but it's pretty good. It'll look good. The picture though will look good on a menu.
There you go.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
And if somebody's going to ruin it, they'll use like some kind of like jalapeno infused rum.
Yeah, I don't know if that'd go with the coconut milk.
We call this one the runs.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the Charmin on ice, please. Tall? Oh, please.
Yeah, I do love the tiki stuff, and it's actually seems to be like pretty hot right now. Like it's come back pretty big.
Yeah.
Big time. And it's funny, you can tell people just got into it, and it's kind of funny to watch some people grow, and as they discover how deep and rich that is, that's really badass, man.
It is all about the tiki drinks, though, so I'm looking forward to having some space tiki tonight.
There you go.
Tang and rum.
Be good.
Tang and rum. I'm gonna gotta remember that one.
What do they have? Powdered rum?
Oh.
So you can mix it up with the tang and just add water.
Freeze-dried rum.
For drinking
Freeze-dried rum.
Drinking
for
out of a
drinking
box
in space.
straw.
For space. Say, I'm just.
This is going to be horrible if it turns out there's like some chemical property, like if you freeze-dry the alcohol, it explodes.
Or it causes cancer just thinking about it.
Becomes like TNT. It's like,
I got a
it's
buzz just thinking about
unstable.
it.
Wait, okay, can you do a flammable drink that has tea in it and call it the TTEANT?
Oh, wow.
I've got a million of these.
Man,
That's what happens when you get artists together. They just all
Sidetrack.
Yeah.
It turns to booze.
off the
Allison started
rails.
talking about alcohol. How did that happen? Wow.
So getting back to things, let's go deep into your history. Where did you start? Where did your art come from? Where did it start? I mean, were you just a natural drawer?
I was just a natural, just
He was
natural.
supposed to be delivering packages, obviously. And
Well, before that, he wasn't like a 4-year-old. Although you look young enough, you could have probably started UPS when you're like 4.
I started drawing when I was like 2 years old. Right. And actually, my mom kept a lot of that stuff, and I was just always drawing all through. Like every class in school was art class for me. That's just what I've always done.
Right on.
And I guess probably the influences would have been, well, obviously like a lot of my influences would have come from like looking at the back of Hot Rod magazines at the little Ed Roth, like because he was in the 70s, he was still selling T-shirts and stuff. But you look at the little Roach drawings and little Ed Roth drawings and stuff for the T-shirts, and I always loved that stuff. As I always loved Hot Wheels, so I would always try to draw them and things like that. So
Badass. So did you have like growing up? I mean, besides that was obviously one major influence.
Yeah.
Did you do stuff like read like Mad Magazine and?
I read cartoons. Yeah, I read.
Right.
I've discovered cartoons probably in about like 4th grade, and that actually did a huge effect. It took me years to get the George Trosley look out of my art.
Exactly.
Because I love George Trosley art,
That's
and
funny.
for the longest time, like my wheels all looked exactly like George Trosley wheels.
So funny, man. So I wonder if there's somebody out there who took that like to an extreme. To like my house, I patterned my design sense after Crass and Bernie.
Oh
yeah. I live in a barn.
Who our age didn't want to live in Crass and Bernie's garage?
Yeah, right.
That was the best thing ever.
Yeah, all those Crass and Bernie stories, they had a huge influence on me.
What's funny though, as a kid, you read that and you go, okay, these guys are working in this total like pigsty.
Yeah.
And then you go, there's no way. One day, as you grow up, you're reading magazines, you're looking at some of these cars coming out. Then you go to one of these real shops when you're finally old enough, and you go, holy shit, these people
Crass and
live in
Bernie.
Crass and Bernie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What a dump.
But look at the cool stuff that always came out of there.
Yeah.
And you didn't care that it was a dump. You wanted to see what was going to come out of there.
Yeah.
That's how it was. So like in my head, it was always the IndyCar shops and the NASCAR garages that were always perfect with the polished floors. That was the cars that came out of those.
Yeah.
If you gave me like a car that you'd see here, like I'd imagine in my head, I was like, Ufusa's shop has to be this totally rundown barn that's being held up by maybe one 6x6 that's like leaned off of a tree.
Yeah.
And you're like
Old van to hold store parts out in the back.
every 6 months that van gets put to use. Get all the shit out of it. Go get a pizza. Yeah, but man, okay. So growing up, as far as schooling went, You obviously took art classes and through high school and things like that.
Yeah, that's it. Just high school art classes.
That's where it wound
Yeah,
up.
I didn't go to college first. I didn't go to art school or anything like that, which for the longest time that I think worked against me. But where I'm at now, it actually works for me because I've worked with so many different other artists and stuff, in our industry that they all all the ones that went to art school, art college, a lot of them went to like Pasadena and stuff like that, but they all seem to kind of replicate the same thing in my opinion. Not to put anybody down.
Talked about that a lot.
Yeah, it all seems to come from the same place, where it's been taught to them to think a certain way or something, and mine's just different, And there's so many designers and stuff like that now that that separates what I do as looking different and having a different feel to it.
Way cool. And that's fun. It's really tough because you do get influenced. I mean, I see these guys like really took it. Like I kind of fought everything that I was being influenced by. I started off in engineering and I went over to fine art. Mm-hmm. Again, there were girls there.
There were girls there. We talked about that.
It's a smart career move. And looking back, I should have talked to a different one.
Yeah,
it was like you have one instructor who drills it into your head, especially in painting wise. It was like, you will paint like me. And you get done, you're like, man, I don't want to paint like you. I don't want to draw like you. I don't want anything to do like you. And you start to develop your own stuff. And for me, like all my stuff kind of came out when I picked up the digital stuff. I kind of just had to come to terms with that. It was like, well, it's what you need to do.
Yeah, if
like,
you want to be.
How did you get that way? How'd you get into the digital stuff?
Digitally, I think you have to embrace that if you're going to be a professional artist or designer.
No option.
It's not that I love the digital. You have to do it.
It's a tool.
Yeah, it's a tool you have to use, and I resisted it for a long time. I would incorporate it into what I did, but I kind of honed my digital skills in my days with Mattel because I had to be able to do that. So
we need to talk about that though, man. You've
absolutely.
done you holy shit. I have no way to explain this. You've worked on some iconic stuff. I mean, and you double down on iconic. It's iconic the cubed. There you were working on Hot Wheels. And even going as far as a Star Wars Hot Wheels line.
I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of that.
Dude, wow, man. Okay, how did that come about?
Well, that came about basically because I've been putting my stuff out there for years and stuff, and putting my art online and things like that. And I kind of like by a fluke, I ended up meeting up with the VP of design for Hot Wheels, Felix Holst, which super nice guy. And we kind of became buddies, and he kind of became a fan of what I did and stuff. And every once in a while we'd exchange emails and art and stuff like that. And then one day he called me up and said, hey, I've got a project that you might be right for. He's like, I can't tell you what it is, but if you want to come out, and take a look. And I was living in Minnesota at the time, so I drive out. It's like this is on a Thursday, and he's like, be here Monday. I'm like, all right. So I get in my van, drive out here to California. And it ended up being, he wanted me to design cars for a Hot Wheels movie, a live-action movie, with real actors and real cars. And so I got to do that for
American
a while.
Graffiti. Oh, yeah. Tatooine graffiti.
Well, there was no Star Wars in that yet. So,
okay.
So I was designing like
Dagobah.
full scale redline Hot Wheels and stuff like that would get built, that could jump and do all these things. Got to meet a lot of amazing people through that, and then Paul Walker passed away from the Fast and Furious series, and all of our movie got shelved because they needed to finish their last movie. And so then I started. They brought me in to design actual Hot Wheel cars, and that was actually really cool because a lot of the designers and stuff that were in Mattel at the time, they looked at me as like this, who's that guy from the Hot Rod Garage, But they assigned me like some of these Star Wars cars, and my designs and stuff were immediately accepted, by Lucasfilm and Disney, because there's so much red tape in that.
See, that's incredible that you did that. Holy cow!
That's part of what I'm talking about though, with like my ideas coming from a different place. One of the cars I did, the one I'm most proud of is the R2D2 car, but one of the ones I got to do was the Han Solo car, And when somebody says, do a car for Han, design a car that would represent Han Solo. Well, I immediately think Han Solo is the same. He's the same character in two of George Lucas's movies. American Graffiti and Star Wars. I'm like, so he needs to be in a '55 Chevy. That seems like something that's just an obvious to me. those guys didn't. A lot of those guys didn't get that at all.
They weren't even.
They're like,
thinking
what?
what you were
Why
even
is
talking
that?
about.
Yeah.
Well, this is
What,
easy.
yeah.
This is
What
an
is
easy
that? You know. But I put together the design, and that shipped over to Lucas, and they're like, yeah, that's it. So.
Badass.
And that's where I guess pulling from a different source is my benefit.
So who designed the Jar Jar Javelin?
No,
The Jar Jar.
nobody did that, but I do have. I can show it to you. I'll show it to you guys. I actually did a Jar Jar car, but they're like, no, we're not doing anything for Jar Jar. Everybody hates Jar Jar.
He wouldn't drive anyway.
But you guys are gonna laugh because Jar Jar has those flapping ears and stuff.
Right.
I'm like, he's a dune buggy. He's Jar Jar Manx. And so I did these front fenders that came back and they were pivoted and they'd flap around on the wheels.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
it
badass.
looks so badass. I mean, my boss loved it, but Lucasfilm was like, no, we're not doing it.
When even Lucasfilm was distancing themselves from the character they created, like
I'm sure they're looking like, fuck, that one's rad.
I want one.
The Jar Jar Minx. I really tried. I really
Jar
pushed to get that one in.
That's so awesome.
dude.
But I had a bunch of them that didn't make it. I had I had one for Anakin Skywalker. And like I think of Anakin Skywalker as being like this cocky kid. Like, what's a cocky kid drive? Maybe he drives a Trans Am.
Right.
So it's like Trans Anakin. And it's got like this bubble top with the T-tops scored in the top, and you look down into it's all gold and white and has all the Jedi stuff on it. But then you look at the black interior, and the black interior is all laid out like Darth Vader's face because you can see the Darth Vader in.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so badass.
awesome.
I remember when you
I'll
first
show you
posted,
those.
and you were like,
That's
I did
awesome.
these cars. I ran out. Dude. I must have gone. I spent like a weekend just scouring stores getting these.
Uh-huh.
And now I feel bad because I was going to bring the R2D2 car with me this weekend. I was like, I'm going to get this signed, dude. At
Nice.
some point, I got to send you like a postage
Just send me
paid.
one, yeah.
I'm like, please sign this for me.
I'll send you guys some of those secret files I'm not supposed to have.
got to see these. Hey, there had to be a lot of great puns. I mean,
Oh yeah, there was.
you can't work at a place like that.
Well, the great thing was when I was doing all this Star Wars research when I was doing that, but I wasn't really watching Star Wars. I was watching Robot Chicken Star Wars, which is way better.
Yeah, way better.
That's
way
awesome
better.
stuff. Yes.
What's an aluminum falcon? Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he's crying.
The ones with Boba like falling into the pit and stuff. It's great. I had a lot of fun doing that stuff.
That's way cool. So, do you still do any work with them on?
No, because I worked there for about a year, and their stock started going down, and so I was just contract. They let go of all contract guys, and they started like thinning out management, and I mean their stock dropped. When I was hired, their stock was like $55 a share. When they started cutting everybody, it was at like $19 a share.
Oh wow.
And it's not due to Hot Wheels though; it's due to like Barbie.
Yeah,
And-
Barbie's like their cash cow.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with Barbie, and Barbie loses massive money all the time. So, and then Mattel lost all of their Disney licensing agreements.
That's a killer too.
Yeah, that was.
hurts. Yeah.
So
Wow.
There goes the hopes for.
I actually think that was a good thing because Mattel wanted, like, I'd worked there long enough that they were trying to start own like everything I did, because they want to own you, which it's a trade-off because I mean you're designing Hot Wheel cars, which is bitching. So
right. That's so awesome.
yeah,
though,
what
man.
car just doesn't want to draw Hot Wheel cars?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Holy crap! You lived the dream, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's badass.
Think about it, as an artist, the pinnacle is little cars.
Yeah.
That's
You
the
know,
pinnacle of being a
One of the
little car.
things I will
like-
tell you though that was really interesting there is all the guys that work there, or a lot of the guys, the overall vibe was they're toy designers that want to design real cars. Where I started to realize, well, I'm a car designer that's wanting to design toys.
Okay. And it's funny because one of those two is always going to be a little cooler.
Yeah,
I think because like we're involved in like the real stuff.
yeah. So I look at design toys as cooler, but those guys are like they wanted to design real cars.
So do you get any 8-year-olds that tell you got it wrong?
What was
Did
that?
you get any 8-year-olds that tell you got it wrong? It's like, this isn't right.
Right. Well, I look at what's hanging on the pegs now, and I'm thinking there's something wrong there. But that's a different conversation.
I would love to hear the hardcore Star Wars guys at like one of the conventions talking about those cars.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's got to be somebody out there who hates everything or doesn't get it.
I'm sure there is. There's gotta
That's
be.
the worst. I
But
mean, because you
there's
put a lot
there's
of
always
thought, though.
haters. Yeah,
But
there's always haters.
Oh, of course. But you captured everything.
I think
in
it's
those
cool that you get to do that.
Yeah, I
your
do too.
ideas,
It's
man.
cool
It's just
stuff.
like they missed out by not going with it. Jar Jar Manx. It's
Jar
like
Jar Manx.
the bug eyes,
Uh-huh.
everything. I just can just see
You
it
can
in my
picture
head.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I can
Name.
picture it in my head as clear as day.
It designs
Without
itself.
even seeing any of your renderings, I can already see it.
Okay, now guys, did you get to choose the characters? Were you assigned characters?
No, they actually. It's hard to believe, but most of the characters I did were characters that none of those other designers could come up with cars for. That
Wow.
R2D2 one, they
Seriously?
yeah, they could not think of anything because they kept a lot of the other designers were looking at it as a figure, you know, and they're looking at it from a Star Wars perspective, you know, and so they were looking at like, oh well, you know, he should drop down into something else, you know, because that's how he works on, you know, like the X-wings and stuff. I looked at him and I'm like, he's the Beatnik Bandit. Look at him. He's got a bubble top.
Yeah.
He's all like white panel painted and stuff.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
that's the Beatnik Bandit.
He's panel painted.
You know, I'm like, he's got all those little chrome apparatus that comes out and shit.
Dude.
So that's what I drew. I basically drew up like kind of a Beatnik Bandit inspired robot car.
That's awesome.
Perfect. It's
Love
so
it.
perfect.
So that kind of gets us into your brain then and how your design process works.
Yeah, it's
And that's really cool, man. Thanks for sharing that.
cool, man.
I dig that. I dig the process anybody goes through. And like for you, obviously knowing now, you're thinking you're drawing in influences from everywhere, which is kind of what we do.
Yeah.
We're like sponges. I
Yeah.
mean, we go around and for better or worse, we soak up everything as a designer. You got to try to purge it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I think I've got a whole graveyard of drawings that'll never see the
Well,
light of day.
that's where the new stuff comes from. You know, it's like I could just look at, you know, go to a car show and like, oh, I like that and that, but you're just recycling the same thing.
a lot of it
You
is.
know?
Yeah, I mean,
So you've got to kind of pull from other sources.
that's fun. And so like source wise, okay. Big sources of inspiration for you now. What do you do? Like, what do you do in your downtime? Because I'm sure you got tons of free time. But
Yeah, I
not doing a
haven't
whole
lately,
lot.
but well, that tiki stuff's kind of been that's what I spend my downtime on away from cars. Because I mean, you guys know, I mean, if you're working car stuff all the time, you need a little something else
Get away.
you know,
Right.
to get away from it. But
Right.
and
What's
most
it
of my time's been, you know, trying to rebrand Shine Speed Shop. Really,
Awesome.
Doing a super job.
thank you
Man,
very much.
You're absolutely killing
yeah,
that.
he's Jimmy's lucky to have you there. I mean, you are.
The great thing
amazing.
is, so many people have told him that. He hasn't figured out. Like, wait a minute, are you still here? I don't know if you guys saw the pictures of me in my office with my shoes off.
Oh no.
My feet got wet, and he's like, "Why are your shoes off?" And he takes a picture and posts it. That was last week when it was raining really hard.
Your feet got all wet. So I gotta take my shoes
Yeah, my
off.
feet were all wet. I'm like, I'm gonna take my shoes off.
So what's next, man? Okay, but let's go really weird though.
Okay.
If you couldn't be doing this right now,
If I couldn't be doing what I do, I don't know what I'd do. That's why I do it.
I love asking that weird question. Yeah, it's like
I don't know. I
because
don't
you
even-
make this happen no matter what. This
Yeah,
is,
it is.
This becomes the passion.
I think that, you know, anybody like us, we don't do it because we want to do it. It's because we have to do it. It's like we don't. I couldn't imagine doing anything other than this.
I would be the world's worst dentist.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel that for a lot of reasons, but because I hate teeth. But no, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's your passion, but you have to do it. Like it's not money that drives you to do it. You just have to do it.
well, obviously,
No,
not.
and if
we
you-
know what that's like.
Yeah. They don't call us starving artists for nothing, you know. But if you can do it with if you can do it smart and you know, be flexible to a certain degree without giving away what you are, I think you can do good at it.
Definitely. That's really great advice, man. Without giving it away. I mean, that's because as a nurse, somebody come up to you and go, "Oh man, I'm thinking about this," and you're immediately pulling out the sketchbook
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what about it? It's a good idea. I mean, eventually you get to a point though in your career where you go, well, that'll be $30.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
all artists we all undervalue what we do. But,
Sure.
But I don't know. The reality is nothing we see would exist without people like us thinking it up first. You know,
Big
there's
time.
way too much value placed on lawyers and, you know, people that have respected kind of jobs that I don't think they're as respectable as they should be.
We need to work on that. We need, you know, and you can't come up with. It's weird. You can't really institutionalize it
Yeah.
because I think our whole industry defies being, we should be institutionalized.
I think people think
in a lot of
that
ways.
there shouldn't be as much value on it because we all have so much fun doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes it looks easy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like, well, that
that's the
doesn't
thing,
look
too.
that hard.
Yeah, it does. It looks easy and like, oh, you can do that. You shouldn't cost that much.
Take you 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It shouldn't
They
be a
don't. They don't
deal.
see that. All of us probably work 20 hours a day.
Yeah, for how many years
Yeah.
to make that 20-minute
Exactly.
deal happen in 20 minutes?
Or that 5-minute sketch that you turn over to somebody because it's got the best idea.
Yeah.
You don't see the 26,000 other ones that came before it where
Oh
it's
yeah,
like garbage.
Somebody
garbage,
told me
garbage,
once,
garbage.
like how you tell somebody that it's like, that only took you, you draw something out and you're like, that only took you 20 minutes. Like, no, that took me 48 years to be able to draw that.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of it.
Right.
I always love that too. It's like, turn on the tap, give me 9 ideas by
Yeah.
noon, and you're going, I'll be able to I can give you maybe one good idea by like next Thursday.
I always love doing the concept art for people because usually my idea, like the idea I really want to push, that's always the best one. That's always the one that is eventually going to get built. But you have to produce like 2 or 3 crappy ones.
You do like
just
the
to make them
filler
happy.
stuff.
Yeah. Just to make them happy so they can see that, oh yeah, your idea is the best one.
I love it, like if I'm doing it like digitally too. My idea will always be just a little bit bigger and just slightly off center and over to the side.
More vivid color.
Wait, that one's not using the golden rule. That's some other like.
The rule of 16ths.
That's some of the trickery of what we do.
It's a
Jedi
lot of
mind
psychological.
Jedi mind tricks. There you go.
Tied the whole thing. That's
Keeps
going
going
to be the
back to
title.
Star
Either that or
Wars.
Jar Jar Binks. I don't know.
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Minks.
It's just brilliant. That's just brilliant.
I hate to keep going back to that. I just keep
know,
thinking,
I
I
just
want to
like-
see all the outtakes from that. I want to see the
His
stuff where
best
somebody.
design, one that never happened.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm most proud of. We didn't do it, but I was proud of that
Oh,
design.
yeah.
I'll send it to you because you like it.
What were Luke at? What was Luke's? His aunt and his uncle that raised him.
Baru.
Uncle Ben.
Uncle,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Baru.
And
Did anybody
Varu
do
or
like a
Varun
burnt out
Nobody
car?
did a burnout one, no. No,
And
nobody
the
did
blue
that one.
milk. And the blue milk. You always had to drink the blue milk.
Okay, so
I wanted him to do an R2D5. Because it would have just been a different bubble. That's the little orange robot that blew up first. I thought they should have. I mean, that would seem like a no-brainer. That's just one different piece.
Right.
so bad. I love this time of the day. Do we have the other microphones on to collect all that?
I turn those off. It is what it is. That's okay.
So, do you guys ever just interview each other and talk about what you're doing?
We've never done that yet. We from the beginning we said we were going to do like this whole like episode 0 thing.
Uh-huh.
Where it's going to be just the guys talking about the guys.
Yeah.
None of us are that interesting. That's why
No,
it
that's
hasn't
the problem.
happened. It's,
So we get into it and it turns into a big fight.
Oh, that's not good.
We did no. We,
I'm Brian. I'm Brad. I'm Alex.
I'm done.
we're like a boy band. Like we're like an aged boy band. That
They-
like,
they
something
always break
horrible
up.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even ride on the same tour bus at all.
We all show up at the casino at different times for
Well,
a
which
show.
one of you plays the part of JT? Because he's going to be the star, and the rest of those guys aren't going to matter.
Actually, you can tell all the rest of it. Yeah, we're like the. We should be like the other guys.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
So if JT was the cute preppy one, which one are you? It's like I'm the terminally depressed middle-aged one.
Yeah.
One of you guys is Marky Mark,
I'm
and the
the
rest
bald
are just
guy.
part of the funky
The
bunch.
funky bunch. You're just a funky bunch.
Funky for a whole different reason.
Funky bunch.
There can be only one Marky Mark.
That's right.
Brian.
Brian, yeah. It's Brian.
You know what the great thing is? I talk this kind of crazy shit all day long in the office, and they don't know what to think of me, but they just know that whatever I'm doing is working.
Just nod your head and agree.
Just don't
I
disrupt
think
it.
he's
whatever you
crazy,
do.
but,
Yeah, just
but
let-
it seems to be beneficial.
Let him go. Keep that fire stoked.
Everybody has on the kid gloves around you. They're just like,
I think he's taking crazy pills.
don't disrupt it. What did he eat this week? Get more of that shit
What's
over in the
Jeff
other room.
Allison really like? Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I got to walk down the hall and his office door's open. Oh, my God.
Who's he talking to?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's in there.
I had a gig like that though, where I worked for this off-road company,
Uh-huh.
and I had my office, and all day long you get people coming in just asking questions, like question after question. So and you know the story. So it came time to repaint the offices, and they're going through and they're doing like it was off road, so everything was black and Ford blue and gray, steel,
Rhino
And
line.
coming into my office, the painter goes, "Well, what do you want to do?" And it's like, I got the colors picked out. It was like this really kind of nice, soothing, kind of grayish sort of beige color,
Right.
which would be great for neutral colors. Working on stuff. I go, but behind me, and I pulled the super bright red, highly saturated color wall. He goes, "Are you sure?" I go, "The wall behind me has got to be bright red. It's got to be scorchingly bright red." And I put the lights right on that wall. So you walk into that office, you go. Nobody could come into that office and look at me. They were just like, they'd walk by, they go, "I can't even." They keep walking because you come for this dark. Oh my god! I'm like, and I would leave there at the end of the day, and just from the periphery, like it just had this red and like this blue kind of flashing going on in the corners of your eyes. You're like, eyes are trying to adjust to it.
I got them all wondering about my office right now because I took when I pinstripe. I have pinstripe, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I pinstripe, and but I mix my paint on like old Playboys and stuff. So the last one I was mixing my paint on was like a 79. It had like Donna Summer on the cover of it or something. But I pulled this page out of it that was like, it was an ad that you could send away to get like a manual on how to pick up girls with hypnotism. So I'm like, look at this. It's got this girl, like this picture of this girl. She's like all, doped up looking because she's been hypnotized.
Sure.
Just pulled that out, stuck it on my wall. Everybody's like, what's up with the hypnotism thing?
I was going to go for a bigger question. Is the address still available? Is it still
I
valid?
don't know. I should actually send away, maybe see if I can get that manual. But
This one guy waiting. He's like,
Another order. Finally.
I hypnotized her this time.
So there's your move. So we could combine those two.
We could.
What if you did like this weird concentric spiraling circle behind you on the wall?
Or like a drink made out of Tang and rum.
Oh.
Tang rum, like
We're back to space.
like 6 grams of Molly.
Space loopy.
I'm sure you could figure out some way to orange roofie.
Mickey.
Orange tiki.
Yeah.
ZQL would be tough to slip into a drink.
What's the drink that the gangsters were drinking a few years ago? The Scissor.
Oh yeah, scissor,
Oh.
lean or whatever.
Didn't
they
they have,
call
like, cough
scissor.
medicine?
No, it was
Yeah.
like the codeine cough
Yeah, it had
medicine.
codeine and like a Jolly Rancher in it. It's like,
Yeah, it's purple.
yeah, purple
I
drink.
never had any, but
purple drink.
I like to say
It's
it.
just a flaming Homer without the flames. That's
Yeah,
all.
right.
What do you ask for?
Flaming
Like, how do you
Mo.
garnish that? Or like
With a
I like
Band-Aid.
to you go to the bar to order it. Sorry, bro, we're out of codeine. We got Robitussin. Oh man, I don't want that
I
light
hate
crap.
Robitussin.
I don't like that crap. That stuff sucks.
you want a top shelf? No.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
store brand, the guy's full of like the Walfedrin.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me the Equate. I think that's the Walmart brand.
It says compare with.
Compare, yes, that's what it
Call the
tastes
drink. Call the. What if you do like all lower tier booze in the drink and just call it like the compare with?
like. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
The great
You gotta
value
go Motley Lane and
vodka.
Benny Hill going, I got some ideas.
The compare with brand.
What is the great value vodka made with? It's like old carpet remnants.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Stick them in a hothouse for a week, whatever drains off onto the floor. This took a nice turn.
It has. I don't even know where to go from there.
I'm the host and I got nothing.
Hopefully up.
Well, hey. So I know there's a project we can't talk about things we talked about before, but
Right.
other than what you're working out, do you have any personal projects you're kind of playing with you can talk about?
Let me see. What am I working on? Well, I'm doing a lot of concept work with. Most of the stuff I do is with Shine Speed Shop. Work with a lot of other shops too, though. Working on a dual engine Camaro. It's got like 2 LSs in it. That's going to debut at SEMA hopefully next year.
2 LSs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Hopefully make it run. So I've got another
Dude.
project working on that's actually it's a little bit more like a personal project, I guess. It's with my friend Marcy. You know Marcy,
Right?
same one that owns the Fastback Riviera.
Oh.
We're doing a Jag now, an XK Jag.
Ooh.
And Rob Ida's building it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so it's gonna
That's like
it's gonna be
dream
bitchin'.
team.
That's, yeah.
So very the kind of the idea behind it is, what if the Germans would have won World War II and took over the Jag plant and started making and designed Jags, like XJ Jags, because there's a lot of like British quirkiness in Jags that I mean, they're bitching cars, but there's a lot of quirky stuff, and you take all that out, and it's like all of a sudden it's this very aggressive looking, you know,
aggressive yet sterile.
Yeah, very. It's going to be very.
The car has no sense of humor.
So Jack's like an E-Type?
Yeah, E-Type.
All right, on.
So, but it'll be very industrial looking, and hopefully kind of timeless.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll have like wire wheels that'll be cast.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay, I figured like a Rudge wheel.
Oh,
you know.
No,
cool.
all the wheel wells are lowered, so it's much lower. Like there was a Fuso, which I love Fuso stuff, but the one I saw Fuso working on is completely the opposite of what we're doing.
Okay, awesome. And when Fuso's working on, it's really streamlined down and a lot of sculpting.
Yeah, this
going on that car.
this one almost has like a Bonneville look to it. You know, very streamliner.
Just very 40s looking.
Yeah, very punched down and just aggressive looking.
I'm excited. I like the one Chip's doing. That one's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what you're gonna do.
I can't. Yeah, I can't.
This is pretty cool.
It should be pretty cool, especially
The
and then
jet
having.
thing is kind of cool. Anyway, it's a little. You go, well, it changed a few. So to take that idea and go with it.
Yeah.
Pretty
But,
good.
and I think it's gonna be. We're starting with a 2+2 and then shortening it, which saves us like $25,000.
Nice.
Because nobody wants 2+2s.
Right.
I'm waiting to hear the one person who hears about this car and doesn't go, "Oh, you've got Ida and this guy and this." I want somebody else who's like all excited, like, "You're doing something where the Germans won the war."
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't really talk about that idea, but it's just that I can tell you guys that because you understand what that means. You know, that it's like, okay, yeah, the design
It's a what
sense.
if.
Yeah,
It didn't happen, so it doesn't really matter.
Not that I want Nazis or something, but
No.
but Germans have that. I mean, they had a very aggressive looking
yeah.
design sense to them.
Need when you put the build book together for this thing, there's got to be like just a small thing or somewhere where it says, "Think of all the good things Jeff did."
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one of my personal projects I'm working on, and then I'm actually thinking about. I started buying parts. I want to build a Model A.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Awesome,
just
man.
little goofy. I want to build a little goofy kind of T-bucket Model A. Actually, you guys will appreciate this because it's all about the name of it, though. The whole idea revolves
gonna
around
get good.
the name I came up for this car. So our car.
Don't say the name though. You gotta do it first. So just don't even say the name on it.
I'm gonna say it. I have
You can
to.
tell us off camera. You can't say the name because somebody's gonna hear this and go, "I gotta name my car that." Then he loses the name.
Well, if somebody takes it, we've got it on record. We got to look at this
Yeah, I
two
don't
different
care.
ways.
Oh,
You don't
I've,
take your
I've
shirt?
given away so many good ideas this one. In fact, if somebody else built it, then I wouldn't have to waste my time doing it.
Well, that's why he's gonna go make an R2D5. So I guess it doesn't
Yeah.
matter anyway. So.
So anyway, the idea is, you know, like you've seen our car club stuff, all
your
the
Star Club
Emperor
stuff
stuff.
is awesome.
Well, we always use like weird, like Asian names and stuff, you know, because it confuses people. You know, there was like the takeout tea and the cauliflower coupe, and you know that's what we do. So this car, the name comes from that idea, and it's going to be kind of T-bucket style, but it's going to be a Model A. I want to use a 28 cowl and everything else. Back of the body might be T or something. Actually, the body might be very much like the a la carte body, you know, which is a kind of
Badass.
a combination of the two. Super short wheelbase, so you know, very little trim. There's going to be no bling on it. You know, anything you don't need to make it function, not going to have that. So it'll be that less is more kind of thing. But it'll be on a crazy rake. 16-inch wheels in the back, 14s up front. All the drivetrain will be black. The body will be white. The wheels will be white. Black wall tires. Motor is going to look like it just came out of a 50s car. I don't really care what it is out of yet, but it'll have like 2.4s and stuff. But kind of want it to look like the model kit you built, but you didn't detail it or paint it. You know, like you just glued it together.
badass. Yeah.
You know, and kind of glued it together. Maybe you glued the axle on top of the frame or something, so it's not quite right, but it looks just turned out bitching
You're
for
gonna
some
leave
reason.
fingerprints on the windows.
I was really hoping that you're going to have like just some like goop coming down the windshield.
No, that would be sweet. That's a different car though, but you know,
Delaminating.
super simple. You know, like the seats and stuff will be almost like 2x4s just wrapped in vinyl. So there's no detail. You know, everything will be detailless. You know, and again to have that kind of like minimalist, and then it's gonna be, and because it's a Model A, it's gonna be called the Feng Shui. Feng Shui.
Nice. Very nice. Dude, I just dig the whole concept though.
It's all about the concept. So I don't actually have to build it. I've already kind of figured it out. But it would be. But I think I want to build it because it'd be cheap. Because I could pretty
You're
much.
going to spend like 3 times as much to make all the parts look like they're just undetailed.
Yeah. It's just, you know, I want to take a lot of the detail out of it and just make it kind of silly.
Make it silly.
Like yin yang hubcaps on it.
Like
that would be too many details, but
It would be.
we could display it on a yin yang.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna pass out throwing stars and shit.
Across
Throwing
the
stars
show.
can come. Wait, that's what we're gonna get for the
talked
show.
about
We're
those
talking
many
about. We're like,
times.
we get stickers of throwing stars.
Yeah.
So we're
Imagine come over here, just wing one, and a guy like 80 booths over.
Because again, that's it's all about the showmanship and the marketing and just the whole package.
Round 6 boomerangs.
If people are standing around
You're a kid.
and they're confused but smiling, it's all good.
Yep. Yeah.
what does this do?
It's like I don't get it, but I want some more of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring your kids by. Get around 6 switchblade. It'll be awesome.
A bunch of kids hand them all nunchucks and say you can't go anywhere, but you
Yeah,
can fling them around.
nunchucks.
Turn them loose in the bouncy house across the aisle.
Just make some nunchuck sharpies.
Oh, dude.
Start drawing.
Yeah,
It's a slick idea.
Dude.
That's what I.
there you
See,
go.
this is why you're doing what you do.
That's why. Nunchuck sharpies.
I love it.
I want to have you back on. Like, if you got some time,
Absolutely, call me
regularly,
anytime.
kind of just sit down and maybe like once every few weeks or whatever. The wishful thinking came out once every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like, just sit down and talk with you, have you on, shoot some ideas around, have some fun with it.
We can do that without the mics too. I don't care.
I'd be in for
Fun
that
bullshit
too,
with you
man.
guys.
Dude, I totally. A little mental health break during the day, dude. I'm in.
We can talk more about Jar Jar Binks then.
There you go. That's always a good
We'll
conversation.
pass around the pictures and stuff, so the stuff I'm not supposed to have, so you can see it. That I'm not supposed to have.
I'll show you some interesting stuff too. I'll show you the stuff that never quite makes it.
Yeah.
How do you
Never
have
goes.
that?
Never goes in front of the board. We're just like,
Yeah. Those ideas were just like, yeah, we'll just put that away from here.
Because I guess I'm just as guilty for some projects I've been involved in. It's like, that goes into my little stash.
well, there's those,
right
but there's
there.
the ones that you come up with and you're proud of because they're so wrong. And it's like, this is going to get me fired.
Yeah.
And you don't get rid of it. You just kind
I
of go,
can't delete it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Like, I gotta find some client that wants to do this.
my kid went through the one day. He was looking in my office for a stapler. He comes walking out and he's holding this piece of paper, and I go, "What do you?" I go, "Oh no!" And it's one of the ideas that came up. I shouldn't say this on air for maybe a car event. And the way it was drawn, he's laughing about it. He goes, "This is so stuff," but I'm going, it's wrong on every level. I can't get enough of it. It's so great. It's so great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a proud moment. You can go to school. And what does your dad do? Okay.
He draws.
You know what a penis drawing looks like? Yeah. Hold your juice box. No. But man, thank you. Thanks for taking
Yeah,
time out of your day.
thank
man.
you for
Finally,
having me
finally
over.
get you back. Yeah,
Yeah.
because from the time we did the first podcast to now, you've had a lot of changes. You know, a lot of good
I
things
have
that
had
happen.
A lot of,
I'm glad
lot
you were
of
able
good
to talk
stuff.
about a lot of that. That was good.
Got a lot of bad things out of the way.
Yeah,
Awesome,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Good on you for that.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Dude, it is so. It's nice to see you. You look happy.
Yeah.
You're genuinely happy as a human being, man.
I'm pretty happy. So
That's good.
yeah, it's been going really good.
That's good.
Dude, I hope it continues to go even better
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Dude, I really, man. I want you to wake up one day and just go, "This is like a dream," and then Alex will bust down the door. It is, mother.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
He'll drag you away in his
And then
Jar
I had to
Jar
go on the
Binks.
podcast, and everything went downhill
Yeah,
from there.
yeah.
It was perfect until then. See?
Fortunately, not going to jinx that. We don't have that kind of a bad effect on us yet, where
No.
it's like everybody
Not
we've
yet.
had on the podcast, like everybody had on the podcast turns out to be like the drummer in Spinal Tap. where
Yeah.
they suffer some horrible.
Yeah. Choked on his own vomit. We just couldn't prove it was his own vomit.